Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of El Local Podcast 831. I'm your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today we have Bibianna Rocha joining us here today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So this is cool because you are a community member, right? You are a person that visited Watsonville and just kind of came into the picture into Watsonville, not born and raised, which is okay. But you fell in love with Watsonville.
Absolutely.
And that love for Watsonville made you want to stay here.
Yes.
And I think that's a great point of view, right? Because we have people that are born and raised here, live here. But someone that comes to Watsonville and falls in love with Watsonville, that just brings joy to my heart. So, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, this is a very first podcast that you've ever done, right? Ish.
Kind of. I did that first one that I told you. It was my very first one. I think I did it last year or the year, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is like being recorded visually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that this is my first one for sure.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of people they love doing podcasts and it's a lot of audio and people get nervous when there's a camera. So don't look, guys. So B, you're not from here, all right? But you came here. You fell in love with Watsonville. You're here. Where are you originally from?
So I am born and raised in Northern California, so the 530 area. So I was born in Yuba City, California, but went to school and all of that in Live Oak, which is a very small town off of Highway 99.
Okay.
So in between Sacramento and Chico, there's Highway 99, and like if you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
So when I grew up there was just one stoplight. Now there's three.
Big upgrade right there. Shout out to that city over there. That's a small town. You're up there. That's up there. You know, I mean, it's like foresty, very foresty up there.
It's ag, so there's a lot of peach fields and trees and all of that. Almonds, walnuts, plums, all of that there.
Ooh, might have to take a trip out there. I'll probably blink because I'll probably miss it. Because I was actually up there during the summer, and I like when I drive. I like to look at the towns that are nearby and have the GPS. And maybe it was there, and I blinked because I was on 99 for a little bit. I don't know. Who knows?
You probably missed it. It's a really small town.
And so, kind of talk to me a little bit about how you ended up this way in Watsonville. And before, did you just hear about Watsonville at all, or?
So I met my ex-husband when I was 18, right out of high school. We went to Sac State together for a little bit, and literally everybody at Sac State was from Watsonville. And all you could hear, literally all you could hear is like, oh, Watsonville this, Watsonville that. And it's like, where is Watsonville?
Yeah.
And then they would always say, oh, it's a small town. Oh, it's a small town, like everybody knows everybody. And everybody did know everybody that went from Watsonville to Sac State. They were all kind of like, even though they didn't go to the same high school, they still grew up together. So they were like familiar with one another. And so I met my ex-husband at Sac State. We got together. School wasn't for me. So I dropped out of college like a year and a half, and I was already working full time. Yeah. So I was working full time and going to school, and the school part was not working for me, but the money part was working. Yeah. So I just continued to work, and I worked full time all that time period, and I ended up getting pregnant with my oldest daughter. She's 10, about to be 11 next month, and we just kind of I was supporting him to finish out school. He got his bachelor's in criminal justice. And prior to him graduating, we decided to have another baby. So we had our youngest, Camila, and she just turned 8.
Congratulations. Happy birthday, Camila.
I'm so excited for that. They're just growing so fast. And then after that, we were kind of deciding, like, where are we going to go? That kind of thing. So we ended up moving back in those times. We ended up moving back like to the area of like Live Oak, Gridley, Orville area, and we were there for a little bit, and then the campfire happened, and we were renting a house in Gridley, and, you know, the housing shortage and all of that stuff, we ended up having to leave that rental, and we were living temporarily with my mom, and that just does not work out at all. Yeah. So we decided as a family to move to Watsonville. And when we moved here in 2019, April of 2019. I tried to transfer. At the time I was working at Wells Fargo Bank. I tried to transfer, and there was no openings over here. So I was unemployed for a couple months. I kept getting declined because they said I was overqualified for everything here.
Overqualified. How many people get that, like, that notice? You're overqualified. Really? Like.
Yeah. And then, that's when I ended up getting a position as temporary help at the Community Health Trust as an executive assistant. And then they really liked my work. I stayed on, and I stayed there for some time. And I think that's where I really got like my passion into like the community work.
Yeah.
I, immediately had my kids into Head Start when I first moved over here. Head Start gave me the opportunity to be on their policy council. So nice. I was the chair for their policy council for a few years. And then I ended up getting on the board for Encompass Community Services.
Okay.
And I was a board member at large, and then I worked my way up to be a vice chair, and then I was a co-chair right before I left. And the only reason why I stepped down was because I ended up going through a divorce in 2021. And it was just too much to juggle, juggle all of that, figuring out where we're going to live as a single mom and with 2 kids. And
around that time, like, still like kind of the COVID era, still kind of like things are not open, things are kind of shut, like there's not a lot of opportunities. So how was that to come? And it's funny because I mention it all the time, like a lot of these stories revolve a lot around COVID right now, but coming to a new city, and you're trying to find your footing here, and then COVID hits, and then you're going through a divorce, you're going through change. How difficult was that during that time?
I would say that, first, the beginning of COVID, I was still with him. It was the 2021. It was kind of like the after, when we were kind of figuring it out or whatever. I feel like that time was where I really got to like shine as a community member, because being on the board for Encompass, we got donated like 10,000 masks, and I just took the lead, and I took all 10,000 that were donated to the health trust, and I was like, we're going to distribute them out to farm workers. I didn't even check with my executive director. I just made the decision and was like, we're doing this.
You just took the lead.
I was like, I'm so sorry, but we're doing this. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of like what got me on the map of like more of the community work and getting involved, because when I did that, it just like felt like being at home. Like it brought me back to home. It brought me back to like my abuelo, my abuela, my aunts and uncles who are still working in the fields right now, by the way. They're harvesting pistachios out in Colinga, Bakersfield area.
Nice.
So it just like brought me back to them. Even though I couldn't do it at my like place where I grew up, I'm doing it here in Watsonville. And like I say it every community meeting that I go to, I was like, I'm not from here, but this place is my home, and this is where I'm raising my babies, and my babies can be like, my dad grew up here in Watsonville, and now like I get to be here in Watsonville. My mom made it happen,
Oh yeah. No, that's amazing. Just to hear, right? Like I said before, like you come, and again during that time, I'm sure it could have been easy, like, all right, I'm out, going back home, to what I know.
Yeah.
But you stuck around, so that absolutely. you resiliency and perseverance of that, but to call it your home, that's awesome. That's like I said, it just brings joy when people come like, dude, I love Watsonville. Like it reminds me of home, and it's like, no, I'm gonna stay. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty special. Yeah. And so, how does it remind you of home? How does Watsonville remind you of home, and just kind of your background, kind of growing up in your hometown?
Yeah. I find it really funny when you locals call it big, or I mean small, because to me it's big.
Yeah.
Like I said, in Live Oak, you can like look around, you could probably see the town from one side to the next, It's not like Pajaro, but it's kind of close to there. It's probably grown since then. So I don't know, just to call it my home and in this space is because of all of you. And like I see the like resilience and all of that, like community support is here. And I've gotten to like network with a lot of like big people that I didn't know were big people, by the way. Like I didn't know that they were until like I got connected with people and they're like, you talk to this person? I was like, oh yeah, they're my mentor, or oh yeah, they're this. And they're like, what? And they're like, I've been trying to talk to them for some time. And I was like, I just talked to people.
I don't know. I just know that, you know?
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is our little space, our little home that we're building here. I've gotten the opportunity to coach here, which, you know, I don't know if I would get that over there.
Yeah.
I've gotten the opportunity to be on committees, on boards. I'm a commissioner for the Latino Affairs Commission for the County of Santa Cruz. You know, I don't know if I would have those same opportunities over there, you know, and because of my network and just me being willing to network and build connections, like I've been able to do really big things here, and I love it, honestly.
That's awesome. That is great. Going back to like it being a small town, so I know it's crazy because everyone at some point they know each other, and it's I don't know, it's just like because a lot of families come from the same towns in Mexico and all that, right?
Gomez, Michoacan.
Yeah, or you know even Guadalajara, like out there in Jalisco. And so it's a funny little story. So because of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, generations of being here, my dad's always like, when I was younger, he'd be like, hey, make sure you know who you're dating. And it's a lot of the cases with people here in Watsonville. It's like
they could be your cousin.
They could be your cousin.
That's how it is for us back home too.
Yeah. And so like I've heard stories and you know, it's like, oh yeah, dude, like I found out she was my cousin, but I didn't know. I'm like, bro, I don't know, you know, it's just like, cause a lot of times families come here and they just kind of dissipate and they do their own thing in generations, you know, Mexicans, you know, they just don't talk for years. And cause I've over the years I found out like, oh, that's a relative of ours. Like, oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, they own this. Or like, dude, that's so cool. You know? So, and obviously growing up here, people like, what, you know him? Yeah. So like I like to like hear those stories and talk to like my dad, like my aunts, like the old school people, and it's like, oh, I know them. And it's like, oh, cool, dude, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So so that's pretty cool. So you started working at the Health Trust. They liked your work. They kept you on. You know, what was your what was it like at that time, being your first job here in Watsonville? And that's where we kind of met.
Right?
We met there. I started getting involved with the community, and you know, we did some collaborations with the Health Trust and did some things because I worked for PAL. You know, at that time, and so we kind of like connected there, and it kind of grew, and we're connecting more with things and stuff. So talk to me about that time there and what you learned and what was your takeaway from working during that time, your first job here in Watsonville in that setting.
I would say that in that setting, in the nonprofit sector, right, I will say it's about who you know, right? You get into places with who you know. So it was like really like a really big thing to network. Like that was something that DeAndre, who is still my mentor, by the way, he was like, as my executive assistant, like you have to be willing to network and to like build connections. She's like, you never know if like later I'm going to need a meeting with them. So that was like my thing. I was like, okay, we're at this event, and I'm like, okay, who's this person? Isn't there a movie called Executive Assistant or something? And they have like a book where it's like, they have everybody. That was me, except for I didn't have a book. I just had to like try to remember people and like learn like, oh, we need to talk to this person. Oh, we need to get this person's number or contact or whatever. So I feel like a lot of the stuff here is about who you know. Right. And yes, how you work obviously is a big thing, but it's about how do you get connected is, you know, like there. So, that was the one thing that I learned. And then also just like, I learned, like I said, my passion and my drive for the community work. And just getting involved, right? So every chance that I got, like I would be at volunteer events and I would be supporting other organizations. And ultimately what helped was then they would in turn support us.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like really good. It was like this big, like, what do you call it? Like network that you're building.
Yeah. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You know?
And you're like building this with people that you're just getting to know. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really helpful. I'm trying to find that where I'm at right now because I'm in county now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like those were like the two really big takeaways is like learning how to network, build connections, and not burn bridges, right? Don't burn bridges, like keep those there, that kind of thing. And then just being involved in that passion and that drive for the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. You know, there's politics and things and everywhere, and we've talked about it, and I mean everyone knows it's no secret at all in the community, and people are aware of it. But like, how do you face those politics in a nonprofit setting, or even like kind of now, right? Because like I said, a lot of it's like not what you know, it's who you know, which is kind of like I'm on the fence on that sometimes.
I hate it so much, right? And hate is a strong word.
Yeah,
it's a very strong word, but I will tell you that I really do. I'll say I dislike it. Okay, fine, but I really dislike it because you're missing out on really great people.
Yeah.
Really great people that will make a positive impact, all because you want to do your political stuff. And
I know this is kind of
go ahead.
I know it. A lot of people, you know it. Everyone knows it. And there's been some organizations that I have been part of, and just kind of entities that you see, and even the people that you know within those organizations. Yeah. It's like they get passed up for opportunities.
Absolutely.
You know, because, you know, well, hey, this person's been my friend for like 30 plus years, and I'm going to put them in a position, you know, up there when this person has like the experience and everything. Like, yeah, it's all that. And how do you like deal with that? Like, cause it's like you said, there's a point where you got to speak on something, but also you got to like take a step back and bite the bullet a little bit, because you don't want to burn a bridge.
Yeah.
So how do you maneuver that? What's a recommendation you give for people?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you I'm dealing with that right now. I think you and I privately talked about that already, so I won't like say any specifics related to that. But I think that I'll say the advice that I have been given from my mentors, and also just like me thinking about like my positioning, because I'm very strong. Like everybody knows, I'm very, very strong, you know. But I'm strong because when I was younger, I didn't have anybody to stand up for me. So I have to be that person for myself, to stand up for myself. But who else am I standing up for is my children. And also anybody else's children that I've coached. I am such an advocate. Like if I see something wrong happening, like I will voice it. I will always be professional. I will give that 100%. I don't want to be known as that like ghetto coach or like person or anything like that. I definitely keep it professional, but I learned through Head Start, through the Policy Council, to use my voice. So I will say that you definitely have to pick and choose when to use your voice, because when you use your voice, you want it to be impactful and powerful. You don't want to just bark to bark kind of thing. So you do have to kind of bite the bullet on some things, which is kind of hard for me sometimes. But I'm learning how to take a step back and be like, okay, this one's not the one, you know? But I will say that when it comes in this situation that I'm talking about, when it comes to the safety of my child, and training is not being like applied appropriately to where it could injure my child, I will definitely speak up.
No, that's great. That's for sure. Because, I know a lot of people are afraid to talk, right? And again, we go back to like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you talk, you know, it's considered burning a bridge and all that. And it's not private news, it's public news. I mean, everyone knows it's from the top to the bottom all over the world. Politics, it is what it is. But I think that's very important, that you got to speak up, you know. Absolutely. Especially when things are not done right. So I agree.
Yeah, and also like something to consider, like if you're having that like feeling or that opinion and others are around you voicing it, they're not going to have that strong voice to voice it. So you get to be that person in reason. But again, you have to pick and choose your battles that you're willing to do that for, right? And for me, like, my big thing is always like the safety concern and the safety aspect of it. Like, when it starts approaching that, we're like, all right, come on, it's time to speak up, you know? So yeah, and like I said, I'm living that right now. So that's the only advice that I'm taking right now.
And then also too, you know, during this time and in between, you're a coach.
Yes.
You know, you have a softball background. I think we faced each other a couple times in the rally. What was it called? The Rally of the Potawatomi Valley softball tournament. I participated a few times with City of Watsonville and you when you were at the Health Trust, and you're pretty good. You're pretty good. And so you had that sports background.
Yes.
And so, how has that background helped you today? I think there's a lot of things that us athletes as individuals have taken, you know, and we learn. But what's the one thing that has helped you as a past athlete today?
I feel like there's more than one thing. I will say for sure. I'll give you like my top takeaways, right? I feel like in the sports world, I learned how to be a leader. I feel like now that I reflect back, honestly, like all of my sports team, I was a captain every single time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like for volleyball, I started on varsity my freshman year, and I ended up being a captain. I don't know if it was all years, but it was definitely like most of the years that I played on there, which was like really cool. For soccer, like I didn't even play soccer my whole life, but I started playing my sophomore year, I think, in high school. And it was just like a natural thing. I don't know. And I ended up being captain like my senior year. And I'm like, okay, this is super cool. I think junior and senior year, I can't remember. But, you know, it was just like cool to be in that aspect. And then softball, you know, I played softball my whole life and, you know, just to represent and be able to do that. And it just shows that, you know, your coach sees something in you, right? And is putting you in that position to express yourself in that capacity, right? So I feel like that was like the start of my leadership abilities. Right? And just kind of your coach like mentoring you of like, this is how you lead. And they're like, well, you're the captain, so you have to lead by example too, right? So if you're messing around in practice, your teammates are going to think that they can mess around in practice.
They're going to see that. And
they're going to see that, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, you know, they're going to think it's okay to do that. So you really got to lead by example. And a lot of that is also what I use right now as a mother, right? As a mother, it's like, if I'm going to be doing something, I have to show my daughters what's right and wrong, right? So it's that leadership and kind of that capability. Yeah. I think another thing is like a life skill that we all need is team building, right? And working as a team, even if you don't like them. Yeah. You know, that's like the big part, right? Yeah. Even if you don't like them. There was times some of my teammates, they just got on my nerves. They got on my nerves. I never was rude to them. I never said nothing, but they just got on my nerves. They were just somebody that I wouldn't talk to outside of the outside of the team. But you learn to work with them even if you don't like them. And I think that in our world now, right, as adults, how do we connect that? Yeah. How many times in a workplace do we work with somebody that we don't like, but we still have to respect them? Yeah. We still have to work with them. Yeah. And maybe we might need to be in the community with them, right? And you learn that through sports. Yeah, no, that is true. One thing that my coaches always told me, it's like, you might not like each other. You don't have to like each other. Yeah. You know, but the minute you walk on the field, you need to work together for that common goal. Absolutely. And one of my favorite things, so like I said, I worked for the city. Yes. And I was in recreation. Yeah. And so one of my favorite activities with the kids, especially like at a summer camp, was this game called Across the Lily Pond. And so you would get like a group of kids, 5, 10, whatever it is, and you would give them these little rubber like mats, right? And then you would tell them, all right, using these mats, it'd be like I'd give them one less than whatever they had on the team, right, kids? So from this side, you have to climb, you have to walk together to the other side, only being able to step on these pads. Yeah. You know, and so that created team bonding and having to work with each other. And so what I would do is like, all right,
pick your team. They pick your team.
Yeah.
And then I separate them from their team.
Yes, I've done that before too.
It's like, oh, but I want to be with them. It's like, no, I want you to work with this person, you know? And they had to learn. And sometimes I had them do the activity again just so I could teach them that. And then one of my favorite scenes in movies in all time that relates to like this, the Mighty Ducks, the second one.
Yeah.
When they bring all the hockey players from all over the country and they team up with the Mighty Ducks and they don't get, you know, they're fighting with each other. And what does the coach Bombay do? He wraps them up in the rope. He's like, all right, you guys got to move together as one.
Yes.
So like, you know, they work that and they maneuver that into their philosophy and like their whole being as a team.
Yeah.
And so I agree with that.
Yeah. And I've done that in coaching. Like for my softball girls, because it's such a big group. There's like 12, 13 girls, right? And a lot of the time you build these cliques as you're moving into like team to team. Like you might end up being on a different team, but you have this one teammate that you were on like the prior season or whatever, right? So one of the big things that I always do is every single practice, pick somebody new that you've never been with and talk to them, get to know them. What do they like? What do they not like? You know, how many years of experience do they have? That kind of thing. And then as a team, what I always do, I don't know if you've heard of the hula hoop, like team building thing.
Oh, where you kind of work
they have,
with?
They have to like all connect, and they have to go through and talk to each other and go through this hula hoop, and you have to try to beat the time every single time. That's my favorite team building exercise because it works every single time. Yeah. And then after they're done, like let's put it on the field. Now how do we communicate on the field? And it just really just correlates together. Good. It's like a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's
I
great.
love that.
How did you get into coaching? Because I too am a coach. Took the year off this year, you know, but I have some years experience of coaching, and I never thought I was ever going to be a coach. Yeah, you know, just like any sport, especially football, you think you're going to make it to the NFL.
You're
right?
like,
okay. I mean, I had the size, you know, but I've never thought about it. And I remember early on, my dad's like, you know what, like maybe one day you'll coach. I'm like, coach, like whatever. Like, I'm trying to make it to the big leagues, you know? Yeah. And so I started coaching at the age of 21, you know? And at first it was just like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it. You know, I'll help out, see, you know.
A ver si te gusta.
Yeah. But I fell in love.
Absolutely.
I fell in love.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is the exact same love I felt when I was playing.
Yes.
You know, and it's a little bit different, but it's still, you can't explain it.
Yes.
So when did you get that itch, or was it ever like a thing you thought about?
Yeah. So actually, for my senior year in high school, my senior project was coaching a little league team. So at the age of 18, that was my first experience coaching. I think they were 8U. So they were like little young girls. I have my whole like little like folder that it was like, you know, the experience of it and stuff like that. And it was hard because you're 18, you're fresh out of like playing sports, like, you know, and like all of the fundamentals and stuff is there because you just finished playing. But it's like, how do you teach these to the younger generation, right? So that was a learning curve, but I found out my passion for coaching there. But I just, as the years progressed, I didn't have the time, right? Like where I was working, there wasn't that flexibility. My daughters weren't old enough yet to play and that kind of thing. So really when we got here to Watsonville, I want to say my daughter started playing t-ball, like 2020, 2021, like around that time. Yeah. I didn't coach. Because my job, I wasn't able to do it, but I was there every single time. And I was like, man, I need to get back into it, you know? And then I want to say it was like 3 years ago. So Tremblers. Yeah. That's when I started coaching again. Yeah. I started coaching my oldest daughter, 10U. And I just like felt the passion and the drive, and I was like, okay, like everything that like my wonderful coaches taught me when I was younger, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna instill this in them. And like and like I said, it's not just like the basic fundamentals of the sports, it's like also the life skills. Yes. Right? And like I mentioned to you privately, right? There's not a lot of women in coaching. There's not. Yeah. And how powerful is it that I'm coaching my young daughters and like her teammates, right? And they're able to get a perspective from a woman. Yeah. And like how does a woman build another woman's strength and resilience to get past stuff.
Yeah.
Because that will also correlate into your like adulthood, right? Like when something happens and I get down on myself, how do I build myself back up?
Yeah.
And like progress and move forward from that.
Yeah.
And you learn that in sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you know, like sometimes it's hard for the like men coaches to be able to get that emotional piece.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I think, yeah.
Yes. So it's like, it's so awesome to be able to like connect with the girls like that way. But also I get to spend more time with my daughters and they get to see me in that capacity. And I just love it so much. Like right now I'm coaching all girls flag football. I never played before. Okay. But because you're an athlete, right? Yeah. You have that background.
That drive.
Yeah. You have that drive. Yeah. You've already coached before. You just learn the rules, you learn drills to do, you know, you do your homework, you get mentors. Like you can never have enough mentors, honestly. I
got some plays if you want, because I coach flag football
please too. Share them. Please share them. So yeah, my youngest, she's a beast. She's a beast at flag football. She even like goes, she's like, I juked them and then I went and I scored a touchdown. And she's like so like on it about it. And she's just so good. So I really hope that like she continues to go in that way. But I've seen all of them. There's this little girl, I won't say her name, but when I first started with her, I want to say a year and a half ago, because I think I've been doing flag for that long already. She would cry after every single time that she would make a mistake, or every single time that she would drop the ball, or her flag would get pulled, or she didn't score a touchdown. Yeah. Right? And I built her up. And now, you know, and the way that I did that was, all right, let's do it again. Let's run it again. You're going to get it. And I was like, wipe your tears. Let's go. We got this. And she was like, I was like, say it. We got this. And she's like, I got this. And then she did it. And when she scored that touchdown, her first one, she's a beast now, by the way. She could catch. She could do all of this just to see her development all throughout this time. Amazing. I'm excited for this season. Wow. But she, like, when she scored that first touchdown, I have it on video. And when she scored that first touchdown, just on her face, the joy in her face, and accomplishment, right? Like, I did that. Yeah. And then she ran up to me and gave me a hug.
That's awesome.
And I almost cried.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. That's about building them and showing them and teaching that younger generation to, like, overcome and just, you know, never give up. So, I totally get that. You know, one of my philosophies has always been, because I coached at PV High School, and when I first started coaching there, the program was on the brink of folding. Oh, wow. A lot of people don't know that. There was no head coach, and there was another coach that they were trying to get, but it wasn't an official thing, and it wasn't set on stone. So for about, I want to say like 5 months, my buddy and I, shout out Buckman, you already know. Yeah. We came in and we held the program together.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people don't know that this was back in 2011, that summer. They were thinking about just folding it because there was no leadership, no nothing. But we're like, you know what? We're going to stay on the grind and we're going to do it. And we had the kids out all day, every single day during the summer. To finally, literally, I think it was like that last day before school started that following week that they finally got a head coach. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But imagine if like we weren't there. The kids would have been like, what am I doing? There's like no football, no nothing. So we stuck it out. And I'm not going to lie, like we're not the greatest, right? Like we only won one game, tied one.
It's not about winning or losing.
Yeah, it's not about winning or losing. And then, you know, I coached the freshmen, you know, it's probably been, as an athlete, a lot of losses, right, that I've ever faced. Yeah. But I told them this, look, I'd rather go 0-10 for the rest of my life as a coach, but build men and have men that are resilient and fight hard, and to go like 12-0, win a state championship with a bunch of a-holes. Yep. You know? I agree. 100%. Yeah. And the guys, I don't mean it like a-holes like the kids are a-holes, but like humbleness. Absolutely. You know, the work ethic, because how many times even professional athletes, you know, they have all the gifts and all these millions of dollars, but they're just, they're not good people. Like their character is not.
You have to be humble.
Yeah.
And I will say 100% as a coach in softball, especially, like, it was never about the wins that we would get.
Yeah.
It was about the development and seeing these girls. Like in rec, the team that I got in rec was, you know, we lost a lot of games, but you should see the improvement that I made on those girls from the beginning of the season till the end. Summer ball, same thing. Like summer ball, we had, there was 3 teams for summer comp ball. We got like the last little bit of girls. So we had to develop our pitchers. We had to develop our catchers. We had to develop every single buddy on the team. Like there was no catching. Like there was nobody that has ever caught before. And by the way, I was a catcher. So what did I do? Develop my catchers. And like literally to see the improvement from the very beginning to just even, because some of them are still playing right now, fall, to see them catch and be back there. I'm like, oh, I taught her that.
Yeah.
I taught her that. And it just makes me feel so like proud of them that they like do the work, you know, those who want to improve themselves and do better, like will do the extra practice. I was doing extra catching practice just to develop them.
Yeah.
And then they would like implement what they're learning at practice in the game, you know? And I could tell you, we lost a lot of games. We lost a lot of games, a lot. And as an athlete, like you said, it was very hard in the beginning. It was hard. I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? I was like, am I not coaching these girls good? But I got a compliment from a coach that had been coaching for 15 years. And he's like, man, I just want you to keep your head up. You're doing great. Yeah. He's like, you're doing great. You're giving like the little bit of the emotional side, but you're also doing the hard side too. And they need both because we live in this generation, right? Yeah. I was just talking to my brother about this. We live in this generation where the kids are so emotional, right? And they're not used to the hard style coaching that we got when we were younger, right? Oh, yeah. So it's kind of, you have to like be able to be a mix of both. And what I was telling my brother was that, you know, a lot of kids who are in loving homes didn't face the adversities that we faced. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like I was telling my brother, I said, you and we were in fight or flight mode, survival mode. So when we lean to sports, to let that anger out. Yeah. Right? That was my outlet. I would love to slide tackle females and to have them fall on the ground. And that was like my most favorite thing to do. Yeah. When somebody was coming at home plate in softball, I would block it and I would tag them. I was like, this is my home plate, man. What are you talking about? Right? And like we knew, right, now raising our kids, that we didn't want them to face the same struggles. So they have this like loving home, right? And they're like so like emotionally in touch when we don't even have like our emotions, you know, like from that. And it's like, it's hard for them to like kind of be hard. They're learning that, right? Through sports. Yeah.
So it's like a pro and con.
It's a pro and con, it's right?
Like,
we're like,
yes, loving family. There's nothing wrong with that, but the kids could turn out soft, or like you could face the struggle growing up as a kid, and boom, like
you're like, which one do you want? Yeah, that's what I told them. I was like, do you want your kids to have adversities and have to be mean, and then they're gonna excel in sports? I'm not saying every single one, but I'm just comparing to us, right? Or do you want to have like the loving home and like your kids are softer and they have to learn like how to be mean, or not be mean, but just like the
thick skin, the resiliency that you need to persevere through like life's struggles, you know? Yeah. No, I see that. I see that a lot. Oh gosh. And you know what? That's like one of the hardest things for me, like as a coach now, you know, and 10 years ago when I first started, scratch that, 14 years ago when I first started to now, it's completely changed, you know? And that's hard because it's like, you know, nowadays you see athletes and even like college level, and it's starting to trickle in as those athletes get to the professionals. They you know, a lot of the TikTok and all that
you
stuff.
said all of that,
Oh my gosh. But being a sports mom, right? A coach and a mom, and having that background, how do you separate that line, right? It's like, okay, you're a parent, but then you're a coach. Yeah. You know, because there's been a lot of cases, right, that a coach is either he favors their child, right? He's like, oh, that's coach's kid. Of course, he's going to be the starting pitcher, starting quarterback, you know. But then those parents are like, you know what? My kid's got to earn it. Just because I'm the head coach or I'm in the program, whatever, they got to earn it. And sometimes like those kids like, all right, you're like third string, you know, work it, you know. So there's two sides to that, right? Yeah. So how do you find that balance of like, all right, I got to be mom, but then I got to be coach?
So I'm coach when I'm on the field, and I made that very clear with my kids that when I'm on the field, I'm Coach B. I'm not mommy.
They call you Coach B?
They call me Coach B.
Okay.
So I'm not mommy. And when they call me mommy, I was like, I'm not mommy, I'm Coach B. And she's like, Coach B. And they correct themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely the other coach where you have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't show up to practice, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
If you don't do the work necessary, you're not going to play. Well, not that you're not going to play because they do play, but you're not going to start.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Right? Because I know my kids are really good. I know that they also need to improve on some stuff, but I would say that they're starters.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But also you need to have that accountability that if you're not going to show up to practice, then you're not starting.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of like where I try to like balance it. Now that I'm not coaching like softball right now in fall ball, I'm trying to figure out how to not sideline coach. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. And I'm working really hard. I didn't do very well at this last tournament. I definitely sideline coached. I really did. But, you know, I also think that the coaching staff that is there, I think that they have a lot of room to grow as well. And I think that's why I did it. So it was really hard for me to like not, because the girls were not given, like they were not given any direction, you know? And I'm like, how do you not like, I'm like, oh, like fix this and that, you know, and you can't go talk to the coaches. So me and some other parents were definitely sideline coaching. So I have to work on that though. Cause as a parent, I'm a parent right now. I'm not a coach with that. But from the very beginning, I set that expectation with my daughters that I'm Coach B.
That's good.
I'm not mommy.
So you set the expectation, like, all right, you got to be on time to practice.
Yep.
But like, coach made me late.
It wasn't me. It was their dad. It's most of the time it's their dad. It's not me.
Okay. It's like,
so I was like, you got to tell your dad.
Like,
shoot.
You got to be on time. Together. Coach, but you're my mom. You're late. It's like, no. I got that image of that. It's just funny. So you're coaching, and you know, you're transitioning during that time into a new position, right? So you're going from the health trust, you're coaching in that time period, like kind of going into now, and you left the health trust. Yeah,
like over 3 years
ago. And you got involved with some things in the community. Yeah. Right. And then now you're working for the county. Yeah. So what do you do for the county?
All right. So I'm the tax collection supervisor for the County of Santa Cruz for the tax collector's office, and I manage 2 offices, Watsonville and Santa Cruz. Okay. I've been the manager for that for 2 years. I've been with a little over 2 years. I've been with the county for a little over 3 years. So basically, I started as an accounting technician, and then I got into management a year later, which is like super.
You got up there quick, okay.
Yes. And something that was like really, really important to me when I transitioned to the county was my pay. Because what am I? I'm a single mom. Yeah. Yeah. So the advice that I'm going to give on here, because a lot of people don't know it, negotiate your pay coming in. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's government or it's state. I can't do that. No, negotiate your pay. Yeah. So I started at a step 5, which is unheard of. Ooh. Because there's only 7 steps. Okay. So I started at a step 5. That means that my wage had to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. And so there was a lot of steps to get there. Yeah. But I knew my worth. Yeah. And I knew my background, because prior to this, I was a service manager at Wells Fargo Bank. I was also a personal banker, business banker, for some time at Wells Fargo Bank. So I kind of worked my way up there too, and got a lot of experience in that financial accounting area. And then prior to that, I was I was called a key carrier. You're in management at Marshall's. So you know, you work in like all of these different fields and gain different perspectives and experience. And it's like, you've been doing this for so long already. It's like, yeah, you have the experience you need and the worth. And I was like, nope, I'm doing it. And I did it. Wow. And I did it. And now I'm like, I've been in my position for a little over 2 years. I'm at the step 6 for management now. Okay. And it's like, I'm already going to max out. So then what do I do next? Yeah. Yeah. What do I do? I know.
Dang. So like, know your worth, and you
absolutely
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you took that shot.
Absolutely.
You know,
what's the worst thing that they're gonna do?
Yeah,
they're gonna say no.
Yeah,
or they're gonna give you a lower amount. You know, and then at that point, right, if they give you a lower amount, you could be like, take the risks. You know, you have to outweigh the risks and see, like, I don't know, am I gonna be like, well, this is the last offer that I'll take. I'll take this. This is the lowest that I'm gonna go, right? And if they don't take it, and you know they're saying that, well, this is all that we can do, then you decide at the end, right? They think you're a good candidate, because they offered you the job. Now you just want to negotiate your wages, right? So, you know, at that point, you determine whether or not. For me, it was really important, the wages, because I was a single mom.
Yeah.
You know, and I needed to get into a place where there was benefits for me and my children, and you know, I spend a lot of money on benefits, you know, and kids are expensive, man. Yeah. These sports are expensive.
Yeah.
And
what do they say? The average is like $100,000. No, $1 million for a lifetime.
I don't know, but it's expensive.
But if they're doing sports, it's probably up a little bit more, like 1.5 up there, you know.
Man, these kids eat a lot. Their snacks, they got the little luxury snacks there in the pantry, you know.
What do they say? Like, you've seen that meme, right? It's like, oh, back then you know, kids, you know, wanted a Happy Meal and they were good. Now they want sushi, they want steak, they want
literally bougie kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, God, that's our fault though.
It is our fault.
That's our fault. So, that's pretty cool to negotiate. I think that's one of the things that, as a Latino community, Hispanic community, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because we just think like, oh, well, I'm just starting off or whatever, you know, my experience is at this field, not this field.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's not talked about enough to negotiate.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, it's not talked about enough. And so I know a lot of people miss out on opportunities, you know, because it's like, oh, well, I don't know. You know, it's like back in 2019, I applied for a different position here in Watsonville. Same thing that I was doing, working as a paraprofessional. And I was taking a complete pay cut. I think it was like they were starting me at like 18, you know, and I was making like 25 at the time where I'm at school district. So that was the first time I negotiated pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really negotiated. We were like back and forth, and like they actually like
they gave it to you.
They did. Well, they didn't give me exactly what I was making, but they maxed out everything
that they could do.
That they were able to do.
Like if they can't do it in the wage, they'll do it in the benefits or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So they maxed out, but eventually at the end of the day, like I had to turn it down because it wasn't the right fit. And thank God, because like 5 months later, COVID hit, you know, and they laid off a bunch of people. So luckily I stayed. But like that was the first time that I did it, and I was proud. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel good that I was able to do this. And so just talk about the importance of that in a community like this and just in general.
Yeah, I can't like stress it enough. Like everybody looks at a job description and thinks that you need to like check all the boxes. Yeah. And like I can't apply for this because I don't check all the boxes. When in reality, like you shouldn't be applying for a job that you check all the boxes because then you're not going to grow. Yeah. Right? Your point is to be able to grow and to develop yourself. So why would I be applying for something that I check all the boxes and I'm going to max out and I'm going to want to leave in 2 to 3 years, if that, right? Yeah. In some cases, even just a year, because you get tired and bored of it, right? So really, you know, think about all the experience that you gain in all these different fields, right? So like I worked at Marshall's, that's retail store, right? And then I went to banking, right? And it's still retail because it's retail banking, right? But it's a different area. So it's financial, right? You're building relationships with people. You're doing stuff one-on-one, right? Then you go into the nonprofit sector. You're like, man, this is a totally different world. But guess how all these other areas prepared me to be the best executive assistant that I could, because I was put under stressful situations and all of that stuff in both of these that I was an awesome executive assistant, like scheduling, dealing with high conflict people, dealing with like stakeholders and like all of this stuff really prepared me to be there. And I've never been an executive assistant. Yeah. But somebody took the chance on me and they're like, yeah, she's going to do great. And I did really great things there, you know, and I got a lot of experience in that nonprofit sector. And then you go into, I started with the county as an accounting technician. So all of these things prepared me to even get here too, you know, and then I got into my role as a manager, and it's like, again, all of this different background prepared me to be here, you know? And I deal with a lot of like legal stuff. So there's a lot of ordinance that I have to follow because it's different taxes that we collect, and also like state codes, right? So it's like, if I didn't have all this experience in like dealing with people, HR work, management, all of that stuff, I wouldn't even know what to do, right? And I just took the chance, and like my managers at that time, like, you know, they were like, no, apply, you're going to be great, you're going to do this. And I was like, all right, cool. And it also, again, helps, right? Because the single mom aspect, you know? And just honestly, again, like the importance of never giving up an opportunity, right? Don't close the door just because you don't believe in yourself, because there's somebody else on the other side that believes in you, you know, and you just don't see it yet. But if you give yourself the opportunity, then, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think we owe it to ourselves because like you said, like you took a chance on yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think we owe it to those who believe in us. Because a lot of the times, like, I mean, we all have insecurities. We all like face things, you know, like 100%. But there's those people that see that potential in us, and those that like are our support system.
Yeah.
You know, so it's almost like we owe it to them to like give it a try, right? Like you said, what's the worst that could happen?
That
no.
they say no.
That they say no.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
even
that.
Yeah, sorry, but even like interviews, like doing interviews and them saying no, guess what? That's building you for your next set of interviews that you're gonna do for the next position that you're gonna apply for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because like, it's funny because like I've applied for jobs. You know, some of them are just like, I don't know, like I'll shoot my shot, but I got interviews, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, and it was that experience because not everything is a loss.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever you face at the time or whatever aspect or venues that you're trying to pursue, it's going to prepare you.
Absolutely.
So that is 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That you did that. And I mean, I don't know, tax collector though, like
tax collector, you're like, what is that?
No, you know, like, you know, no one likes taxes.
No, they don't.
Oh my gosh. Like I got some taxes that, you know, that I had to pay a couple of years ago. And, you know, when you're paying taxes, just anything, it's like, dude, if something's 99 cents, I don't want to pay like 102, you know,
yeah,
like 99 cents flat, you know? Yeah. But yeah, that's great. That's great that you're pursuing that and you're continuing to work with that. Yeah. And you're also, like you said, you are a part of some boards and organizations and all that.
Absolutely.
So what are those? You kind of mentioned them early on, but let's kind of like dissect them and get into like what you're part of.
Yeah. So right now I am a commissioner for the Latino Affairs Commission for the County of Santa Cruz. I am also a part of a data and equity group within the County of Santa Cruz that is currently helping support the update of our strategic plan for the county. So that's like in collaboration with the 5th floor, which is the CAO's office.
Yeah.
So that's it's kind of internal right now. I've been asked to be on other boards, but I just don't have the capacity to do. I would love to, but I just do not have the capacity because I want to coach.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to get like rid of the coaching. So a lot of the stuff that I do with coaching as well. So I coach NorCal flag football. They have Watsonville, Santa Cruz, Salinas, I think Morgan Hill, and like all of that area. So in San Jose, I started coaching 1st through 3rd, and now our team has grown. So we're coaching 1st through 3rd and 4th through 5th girls.
Oh, wow. Nice.
The first time that I coached an all girls flag football team was 2 seasons ago. And we went undefeated. Awesome. And we got the championship, which was like super cool. And the girls like we have kept these same girls since.
Yeah.
The season after that, we lost some games. We didn't get the championship, but it was definitely like a learning curve because you go from like, oh, like we're kicking, like killing it, right? Yeah. And then you're like, oh man, like we really got some work to do, you know? And then now we're going into this next season, have done that work, right? And we're really excited to see like where these girls are gonna go, you know? I'm trying to think, what else am I on? I am a part of a lot of women leadership groups. So there's a lot of like leaders in this community, and just really having like that support system of other women who are like leaders in the community who face adversity, people of color, you know, and in a lot of our world, like we face that every day where, you know, just being a woman is hard because there's somebody else that is looking at you and like, oh, you can't do this because you're a woman and that kind of stuff. So just really having that support system there. And again, that network and building connections, I really enjoy that part.
No, that's great. I think that's important. And I think that there should be a support system for every single type of groups, right?
Absolutely.
Like everyone, you know, a men's group, a woman's group, a co-ed group, you know, different culture group, you know, I think that's very important. And so did you have that growing up, that support from women? And if not, like, how has that fueled you to pursue that here? Because we kind of had a little conversation, you know, this is not an official thing, but we're like, you know what, like start a podcast, you know, talk about it, you know, because that is something that a great topic that people would, I feel, would want to connect to, you know. It's like, hey, here's a woman of a small community, you know, of, you know, Hispanic, Latino background, you know, or XYZ. It's like, I want to listen to that and network for that. So how important do you think that is, and just in general, like you said?
So I'm going to answer your first question, then I'll answer that. But like, I would say that growing up, I mean, you know, like in the Latino, like you being in the like Mexican culture and all of that stuff, like how many times do you have where they put you down? Like that's their way to fuel you, supposedly to do better, is that they put you down. Like you're gonna be nothing. You're worthless. You can't. I mean, that's extreme, but I'm just saying, right? That's what happens, right? And I faced a lot of that growing up. I'm the youngest and the only girl of 3. So I had my 2 older brothers that, like, you know, I mean, they're doing big things now, but I would say, like, in high school, they were not the greatest examples, you know? Like, they got into a lot of trouble and stuff like that. And to, honestly, like, I did follow a lot in their lead in some ways, like the partying, you know, like the going out and doing stuff like that. But, you know, what I was always told by, especially my Mexican side, was that I was going to get pregnant at 15, like my mom did, and I wasn't gonna be anything in life. And like, it was just like the constant put down. And each time, like, I proved them wrong, it would be like, okay, there was another thing that came up. You know,
pick something else.
It's like I proved them wrong that I didn't get pregnant at 15 because I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna be my mom. You know, I said nope. I said I'm focusing on my studies, I'm focusing on sports, and I'm gonna do that. Right? They told me I wasn't gonna graduate high school because I was going to be a fallout and I wasn't going to do anything with my life. I graduated high school, you know? And they told me I wasn't going to go to college because I wasn't going to do nothing. And I literally got into Sac State and went to college. But then I found out it wasn't for me, you know? But in that turn, like, I still worked. It's not like I was, like, there asking for money and all of that stuff from them. I made sure to, like, provide for my own, because that's one thing that my parents did show me, is, like, to be a provider, to not rely on a man and to not, you know, like, do that stuff. And I for sure, 100%, I have done that, you know? And so I feel like that has always been, like, the thing that, like, gets me to, like, want to talk to other women, want to be around other women to get their perspective, because I feel like I just always had this, like, negativity of, like, oh, you're not going to do this and do that. And I'm like, man, what the hell? I mean, even right now, like, I'm in a good position and they're like, oh, it's not that good. And I'm like, are you serious right now? You know, like, can you at least for once be proud of me, you know? And to my face, they will never say it to my face. But I hear from other family members that supposedly they are proud of me. And supposedly I'm the example for my cousins of, like, what they should be or whatever. But I'm like, well, why don't you guys say that to me, you know? So kind of leading back to, like, the women piece, it's like, it's so good to get that perspective and also that support from them, because they probably have faced the similar battles, right? And also, it's just like you can lean on them when you're going through something and like, you know, get their perspective of how to approach something. And I just really like that. I really enjoy it. And I think that it's about woman empowerment. Like, women can do a lot. We could do a lot. And when we put ourselves in rooms, like when I go into a room, I want everybody to know that I'm there.
Your presence known.
Yeah. And it's not in a way of like that I'm loud. It's just more of that I'm confident and I know who I am and I know what I bring to the table, right? And I think that I display that, you know, anywhere that I go. And a lot of women lack confidence. A lot of women are insecure. And how do I fix that?
Yeah.
Because we need more strong women in our community, right? And we do that by bringing these women into these other spaces. Yeah. Right. So yeah, and I have been thinking about that podcast. Yeah. I really have. I'm like, man.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, and I think like if I could help out in any way, like I had mentioned, and to do that because. Yeah. Those are tools. We all need tools. We all need support. Yeah. And I think that's very, very important. Like you said, like, you know, women are not confident, you know, and you want to be able to help them, give them the tools to be confident. And like you said, even in, you know, personal, even in the workplace, you know, ask for that raise, ask for that high step, you know, to get up there. So I think that is very important. And I hope, you know, as time goes, you know, we can figure that out.
Let's do
I'll listen to it. Let's do it. You know, and look, I produced it. You know, like I think it's great. You know, and because I know this past week they had like a women's women leaders in Watsonville had this
at the library.
Did you go to that?
I didn't get to go because the girls had a softball tournament, but I knew the people that were speaking, and I was like, "Oh, I'm supporting from afar. That's so cool!" Like, again, bringing those spaces, and like, you know, like a lot of people may not know that that's happening. And they can be inspired, you know? And again, just listening to other women speak and just kind of how they move and what they've accomplished, that could be inspiring for another person. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Speaking at events, you know, I don't go to an event, a career panel or whatever it is that I've done. I don't go to these thinking that I'm going to touch every single person in the room. If I touch one person's life that day and they come up to me and they tell me that I made such a positive impact on them, then I've done my job as a speaker. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just what I love to do.
Yeah. And that's great because, again, going back to like coming to Watsonville, like, you establish this as your home.
Yeah.
You know,
you love that. Huh?
I love that. And I find something about that because, I mean, I love where I'm from. You know, I went to Bakersfield yesterday and, you know, we're just driving and, you know, talking to my dad about like living elsewhere and just those conversations. And it's just like, it just, you get pulled back. Yeah. You know, and I think there's this like misconceptions like, oh, well, you never left Watsonville or you've been there your entire life. And it's like, when you love something and it's home, I mean, what can you really do? And to have someone from the outside come and feel that exact same way, that's special. Yeah. And that's a great thing. So I'm very happy that you feel that like, yes. Here. Yes. You know, shout out to Watsonville. I always tell people when like I'm out and about, like, oh, where are you from? Watsonville, huh? Martinelli's.
You're like
Martinelli's. It's like, oh, where's
the strawberries?
Strawberries, like all that stuff like that. So like, yeah, they're special. That's something special in that for sure. And so we'll iron out the details on that podcast. But what was I gonna say? Where do you see yourself kind of going? Because you're saying you're up there in steps, right? You're learning, and so where do you see yourself in a couple of years, professionally and just kind of like personally?
Like, which one do you want to hear?
Yeah, I mean, let's go professionally. Let's go. Right. Where do you see yourself? Because I agree with you when there comes a point where you hit the ceiling at where you're at. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And if you get stuck there, you're just, you know, you don't grow. Yeah. Right. And for some other people, many people, you know, you're there and you're there for a long time, and that, you know, power to them. Just everyone's different.
If that's what you choose, that's what you choose.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But it seems like you're someone who wants to continue to grow. Yeah. That wants to expand in general, like knowledge and absorbing. You're a sponge. I am. Right. So where do you kind of see yourself going? And is there anything that you're kind of got your eye on that maybe you just might want to take a jab at it that you're aware of right now?
Yeah. So you made a comment earlier. You're like the tax collector's office. Like, who wants to work for the tax collector's office? And honestly, I love my office. I love my team. Like, I don't have high turnover. And people that come into like extra help want to continue to come work for me, so I like absolutely love it. To the point of like the environment that we create, and for people that come into our office, like literally it's like that customer service oriented, even though it's a hard thing to talk about. And I'm not gonna lie, there's hard days. Oh, absolutely, there's difficult people that I have to de-escalate and like talk them through the process and stuff like that. And I have to have hard conversations with them because sometimes I have to sell their parcel, So, but the way that me and my team do it is like, we do it with compassion. Yeah. We're very empathetic, we really take the time to like sit there and like educate them on it. And, I told you from the very beginning, community is important to me, right? When I first started in this office, everything was in English, every single thing. And I have been transitioning everything to be bilingual in English and Spanish to support, because guess what? We have an office here in Watsonville. What's our population here in Watsonville? 90% Latino, right? Yep. That's the status, right? So it's like, how do we support our community in this way? How do we educate them in that? And that has been something really big to me. As far as where I see myself going, I want to be a department head. Okay. I see myself still as a leader in this community. I'm trying to figure out what department I'm going to go to, because again, like I miss the community work. So like tomorrow I'm going to be out at the fair. So if you want to come through, I'll be at a table at the fair. For those who
don't know, this episode is not going to come out this week.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Cut that out. Yeah. But, I miss the like community work aspect of it, of being like front facing, and like, I feel like that's where you get like the most impact, right? Is like doing the community work. So how can I find a balance where like, not only am I making an impact on my staff, because I see that right now, like I make a positive impact on my staff that I don't have high turnover, right? And people want to come work for me. Yeah. Like people in other departments are like, oh, when are you going to have an opening? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, nobody's leaving. What do you want me to do? So it's like, I want to continue to make a positive impact on my team. And also like, how do I make a bigger impact on the community? So I'm still trying to figure out that. But I'm going to be a department head. Yeah. We just don't know which department. Don't know where, somewhere. But like I said, I'm going to shoot my shot. Yeah. And I'm going to apply, and let's see who takes a chance on me.
I mean, shoot. Shout out to whoever gave you a chance, because look at you now. You're here. You're here. Personally, and kind of speaking more on like on the coaching side, and just kind of like, I mean, life changes, right? Yeah. It's unpredictable, but do you see yourself being here in Watsonville?
Yes, I do.
Long into the future. Yeah. But coaching wise and kind of personally, like what ventures do you want to?
Yeah. So with the, with the same aspect of like my professional life needs to allow me to be flexible in my personal life. Like 100% I can do all the work. But I need to be able to show up for my kids. Yeah. And how I show up for my kids is through coaching. And I want to coach as long as I'm given the opportunity to do that. I'm going to keep coaching, whether that's coaching softball or flag football, whatever my kids are doing. If they need coaches, I will be the first person to volunteer and to do it, because I know that I'm a good quality coach, and even though, if my kids decide to try something else out, maybe I'd never played it before, but guess what? Once you're a coach, you could figure it out and you learn, right? Like once you coach one thing and you like learn that aspect, you can learn everything else. So, I see myself coaching for many, many years. As to what, I don't know what. I guess we'll see what the kids figure out. Yeah. But I even told them, like, when they stop playing, like, I still want to do it because I really enjoy it. Yeah. Like, I want to continue to, like, pass on my passion and my experience to the next generation, And when you think about it, like, I don't know about you, right? I don't know what they call you. What do they call you? Coach Eddie? Or
Coach G, Coach Gonzalez.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So the best feeling in the world when you go to the grocery store and they're like, Coach B or Coach E. That's like the best feeling in the world that you get. And guess who's seen that? My kids. They're like, oh, Mom, like not only are you making an impact on me, you know, like you're setting a good example for me, but look at all these other girls that are getting another like great impact, you know?
Yeah, no, that's
best
great.
feeling in the world.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, when I first kind of started, they're like, "Oh, what do they call you? What is your Coach Eddie?" Like, no, Coach Gonzalez, Coach G, either one, or just Coach, because like that was, you know, when I coach, that's what we called our coaches by their last name. You know, Coach Weitzel. Shout out to Coach Weitzel. He was my freshman coach. I mean, I loved that man to death. So yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that.
You're like, that feeling just hits you in your soul. Yeah. It's so good.
You're on the bows like, Coach, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's up?
You're like, what's up?
Yeah. So, and not just that, but people see it, right? Yeah. And so I think that's great.
Even my parents, they call me Coach B.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're like, hi, Coach B. The parents to the girls.
Yeah.
They introduce me, oh, this is Coach B.
There you go. That's right. Coach B, you know what's up. That is great. Yeah, oh man, yeah, I love coaching. Hopefully I can get back into it, but like for me myself, like I said, we'll see in the future. Life happens, you know. Yes. Yeah. And being and doing what you do, right? Working for the county, you're coaching, you got your hands in different organizations and all that, the time. What does Coach B do to kind of chill and relax? It seems like you got a lot on your plate and you want to take more, but you can't. But you got to balance it out.
So what do I do when I'm not doing all of those things? When I'm not momming? When I'm not being? Okay. I like to play softball myself. So I go to softball tournaments and I do little pick-me-ups, even if it's not like with the study team. I tried to play league, but with all the girls like sports schedule, it was like impossible to like do that. And that's like something that I do for me. So instead of doing league, I'm playing cornhole too.
There you go.
At Buena Vista, which I told you to come. Yes, I hope that you come.
Monday?
Yeah, on
all
Monday.
Right, I'll be there on Monday.
So they have tournaments every Monday. And I'm like, all right, so if I can't play softball, then let's try to find something else. Yeah. And it's cornhole. And it turns out I'm actually pretty good. I'm still learning, but I'm pretty good for like barely starting out.
You got the little bag and throw it into the little hole. So
you make it sound so easy, but it's not. So that's something else that I'm doing. And honestly, just like I'm in that stage, the healing stage of like getting freshly out of a breakup, and I'm just like still finding myself, like out of all of those things that you just said, like you get so caught up in like all these other things that like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, but like, what are you like by yourself?
Yeah. You forget
what is my identity without my children, without being a coach, without, all of this stuff. So I'm working on finding myself and like what brings me joy and peace, And so, yeah, I watch sunsets by myself. That's something I really like to do. Yeah. And I think that it's also like my time with God where you can kind of like reflect and like really just soak it in. And I will say that we are so blessed to live here.
Oh, yeah.
We are so blessed to live here.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing that like I come from a place where there's just like orchards, which it's beautiful there too. The sunsets are beautiful there. But just to be in like this environment and space here, we're so blessed.
Yeah. You got like 10 minutes you're at the beach, 10 minutes you're at the forest, know. Then like an hour to an hour and a half you could be in the city, you got Monterey. So yeah, you're blessed. We pay for it. I tell people we pay for
100%.
We pay for it, but yeah, I agree. The other day I got up early in the morning before work and I was a little bit late, but I went to the beach and just took a walk.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, I guess I could put up with like that extra taxes.
You said the extra taxes. Yeah.
But yeah, it is totally 100%. And from what I know too, you're a Niner fan?
I'm not a Niner fan. I'm a Raider fan, and you know it.
Yeah.
That Raider Nation, baby.
Bang, bang, just win, baby. I tell people that. Like, wait, Raiders or Niners? Just bang, bang, just win, baby.
You're like, oh, man,
Yeah.
you one of those.
Yeah, I am one of those. But hey, like I tell people, hey, when it comes down to it, Bay Area can't deny, So, but yeah, for someone who is watching this and getting to know you, now they're gonna be like, oh, I know her. You'll be walking down the grocery store and like, oh, Coach B, I saw you in the episode. But what advice, what words of wisdom, what do you leave someone with, takeaways from this and just kind of in general, right? It could be, work related. It could be personal, what is it that you could pass on to someone?
Yeah. I think something that is speaking to me right now is really knowing your worth and knowing what you bring to the table and being confident in what you bring to the table. I feel like, we talked about it in this, is like the confidence we lack sometimes because we don't have that self-worth, that self-love and that kind of thing. And, if you have that, then you're going to open so many doors, because you're going to have that drive to apply for that job, to get in, whether it's this relationship or leave a relationship or whatever the case may be, because you have that self-worth and that self-love and that confidence in yourself. And, honestly, like, I will tell you, I'm so confident in myself. You know it. Right? It.
You got that swag. You
got that swag. I could be anywhere and I'll be like, ooh, I got this.
Yeah. You already know when Coach B walks by.
And it takes time to get there. Like, I don't feel like I was always like this, but over the years, I've just learned to like be confident in myself and know what I bring to the table. And honestly, like, if something doesn't add value to your life, then it's not meant to be. And you need to learn to let it go, no matter how much you love it. It could be a job, it could be a person, it could be whatever the case may be. But if it does not add value to your life, it's time to let it go.
Yeah. And that speaks to me because, like we had talked, man, 2026 has been a year for change for me. And like, there's been a lot of changes, personally, professionally. And I agree. You just, just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, that right there is worth it. Right. And do what you got to do. And sometimes those things are hard, those things are, you don't want to do it. But yeah, I 100% agree. Know your worth and, walk around with that swag.
That swag, baby.
So, you guys already know. B, thank you. For coming on. I really enjoyed this. And I hope someone could see this and be like, that swag.
That swag.
That swag. And we're gonna definitely touch base on that, and I really encourage and I guess my question to those in the community, right? Particularly women. And she kind of touched base on like, that networking and everything. What do you guys want to see? Like, what is it that you guys as women are seeking out, right? Longing for, that could help you become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, the reason why I ask it, it could be a little bit like, oh, why are you asking? No, it's just because this place, this setting is a hub, a resource,
Absolutely.
Right? For people to like seek out and comment on it, and I can show you can see the comments, so, we could all network each other and push each other forward because we're all trying to eat. There's room for in the buffet table for everyone. So let's all share that and get that. So let us know. Let us know. But again, B, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great. Guys, Bibianna Rocha joining us here. Thank you again.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Peace out.